What is up, everyone? This is our first episode of our new podcast called Hard Headed. I am one of your hosts, Jack Bustler, and this is the other host, Dylan Crush. I'm also known as Fetty Bus, so you'll probably hear Dylan call me Fetty or Bus throughout these episodes. But we'll just start with a little bit about ourselves so you guys can know us a little bit. I'm an assistant basketball coach for Bethany Lutheran College men's basketball. I'm in my third season. I live in Mankato, Minnesota. Huge sports fan, all around any sport. I would definitely say my favorites are the NBA and NFL. As far as favorite teams, I cheer for all the Minnesota pro teams. I'm a huge Kentucky basketball fan for college and Alabama football fan. I know I'm just going to get some reactions from that. I don't know how that works, to be honest, how I'm a Kentucky basketball fan and then also an Alabama football fan, but I make it work. I definitely get a lot of hate for it.
As you should.
As I should. I'm a huge Braun guy. I'm a Braun sexual, as some people will call it. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. How about you, Dylan?
All right. Well, I'm Dylan Crush. I coach high school volleyball. I am a substitute teacher. So yeah, pretty low key from me. Me and Bus met each other in college. Oh yeah, I guess I should preface this with Bus will call me Spinny this whole time. I kind of have a nickname that sticks with everyone I know. So like nobody calls me Dylan. Everyone calls me Spinny basically in my life. So so that's what I'll be referred to, I'm guessing, for most of this podcast. Again, I'm the same as Bus. I'm from Minnesota. I live in Minneapolis now. But yeah, we cheer for all Minnesota sports teams pretty much. I'm probably the biggest Tom Brady fan of all time. So that's my guy right there. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit today. How unbelievably sad it is. But so I guess that's it. I guess the only what other sports connections do I have that are BS? Villanova basketball, and I know everyone's gonna get bandwagoning on me about that, but if you went to high school with me, you know that I endured all the first round upsets of our middle school and high school career.
You are a Nova fan. I will give you that.
So other than that, I guess I'm kind of always a little privy to Boston sports. So Celtics, Patriots, I've always kind of bandwagon those teams a little bit. So I'll have a little bias towards those. But so I guess that's enough about us pretty much. I try to keep this as short and sweet as possible because you guys don't care about us. You care about what we have to say about sports. So let's get to it.
This is our podcast called Hard Headed. We will talk and debate sports, everything about sports. I would probably say our main topics will be NBA and NFL based, but we will cover every sport. We'll talk about news, everything. We'll debate topics. I know like during right before football starts, we'll have a segment on fantasy football. So we'll get into fantasy sports too. Maybe even talk about betting. So yeah, anything sports related, we're going to talk about, debate about, and get after it on this podcast.
Yeah, I gotta give Bus some crap because I kick his butt in fantasy football every year. So
that's a lot.
That's how it be.
2 championships this past year. 2 championships. How many did you win?
Hey, come on! I had a down year. Okay. Yeah. For me.
All right. Should we get into it?
Let's get it.
Okay, our first topic here. Oh, I do also want to mention we have goals and aspirations for this podcast. We do want to grow, make it bigger, more legit eventually at some point. But as you can tell, for now, we are going to start with something simple, use Zoom, use Google Slides to help us deliver the content to you guys. So
I guess I just want to add one more thing. I'm sorry we keep doing this, but yeah, I mean, eventually we'd like to get it to like a weekly or bi-weekly podcast where we kind of cover all the current sports topics from that week. And so, yeah, if you guys want to watch us, and hopefully, I know this will start with a lot of our friends, but share it up and let's make this something cool. That's our goal. So stick with us for that. All right, let's get it.
First topic is the NBA All-Star rosters. Obviously, one glaring issue I have with this list is Andrew Wiggins being a starter. Nothing against Andrew Wiggins. He has definitely had a NBA All-Star season, I would say. But there's definitely guys, if you even look at the reserves, there's guys that should be starting over him. No doubt, Devin Booker and Luka, first players that come to mind in my eyes. But yeah, I don't really agree with the way that the All-Star rosters are selected, at least for the starters. The fan vote needs to be less, in my opinion. As it currently stands, the fan vote accounts for 50% of the vote for starters, which I think it should only be 25, maybe even lower than that. This, in my eyes, it's the All-Star game. You need to have the very best players starting, and then all the other best players as the backups. What do you think about these rosters?
I guess it just makes All-Star games become meaningless, I guess, when you make the fan vote 50%. I mean, I shouldn't say meaningless, but like All-Star games in the 80s and 90s meant something. Like, it was like how you tracked your goodness in the NBA, so I guess that's become more the All-NBA teams now, and the All-Star game has become more like a fun type of situation. So if that's the plan by the NBA, I guess I got to respect it, but I'd rather have the All-Star game be a little more meaningful, which means less of a fan vote, if I got to be honest.
Yeah, it is fun. It is a fun weekend. I'll admit I tune in every year. Definitely watch the dunk contest, three-point contest, skills challenge. This year they have a new format for the Rising Stars game. It's like a little tournament, 4 teams. I think that's an interesting aspect to it. And I also really like that they added 4 G League players to the Rising Stars. I think that is definitely something that will be of a benefit to the NBA and this All-Star weekend. Any snubs stand out to you, Spinny?
First one that came to my mind was DeJounte Murray, I guess. 19, 9, and 8. I mean, what else do you want from the man, I guess? Yeah. 19.6, 9 assists, 8.5 rebounds. I mean, this man's like a assist and rebound short of averaging a triple-double scoring 20 a game. I mean, I guess I don't know what else you have to do to be an all-star. Especially you look at some of these guys in the West, like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's always going to be snubs, obviously.
Well, yeah, it's tough.
Total of 12 players from each conference get selected for a total of 24 NBA players. Obviously, there's a ton of players that have all-star seasons. Snubs happen every single year, so it's no surprise there. But yeah, that one really stood out to me as well. DeJounte Murray, like you said, 19.6, just under 20 points a game, 8.5 rebounds, 9 assists, 45% field goal percentage, and he also leads the NBA in steals at 2.1 steals a game. So I just think, honestly, I think he needs to be in there. I don't understand how he's not in there. Like I said, Wiggins is the one that stands out. I don't know how he's a starter, let alone in the game. In my opinion, I don't think Wiggins should even be in the game. He's, like I said, has had an all-star season so far. I just don't think it's quite as good as some of these other guys. Another one that stood out to me, I would say, is my boy right here, Anthony Edwards, as you already know. His stat
Is that just bias, though? Is that Minnesota bias?
It's a little biased, but come on now. He's super fun to watch. I feel like a player like that needs to be in the All-Star game. Like, he's just polarizing. Everyone in the NBA already knows who he is. Highlights every week, every day, pretty much.
I give you that. But at the same time,
5 rebounds a game, 3 assists a game. 44% shooting, 36 from three, and 1.6 steals a game is the Ant stat line.
Yeah, no, he has a case. I just think it usually takes at least 2 years unless you're like LeBron, but most of the time these all-star, unless you're a top 5-10 player in the NBA, ending up as like it takes 2-3 years. I mean, LaMelo's not in the all-star game this year either, and he's averaging like 27 and 7. So yeah, I mean, I think it's hard with the balance of young guys and old guys as far as getting the all-star game. Like Draymond Green, obviously, is a little like bleh to me.
Yeah,
but
that's another one that stood out to me as well. I personally don't think Draymond should be in this All-Star game. All-Star level player, obviously. He's had All-Star seasons in the past. This year, I just don't think he's having an All-Star season. He obviously super good defender, but he's missed a number of games, like over 10 games for sure. And his stat line is only 8 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, 7.5 assists, 54% shooting, and 1 steal and block a game, which again is pretty solid. I don't think it's quite good enough to be in the All-Star game, but hats off to him for making it, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess he's obviously it's hard because the forward and center positions are less deep than the ridiculous amount of good guards that are in the NBA right now. So it's
Right.
like it always makes it tough with that type of situation. Like my guy Jaylen Brown, that I think should be an all-star. Also, I mean, this man's averaging 24, 6, and 3, shooting almost 50%, 47%, and 39% from 3. So, I mean, he's doing his thing, having a good season. Also, Boston's just down record-wise, so I think they only got one all-star, but those type of players, I guess I would take over a Draymond Green type of player. It's just you got to keep it a little bit forward guard balanced somewhat.
Right. And like we already said, 12 players per conference. So that plays into it too. Obviously, Draymond's in the West versus a lot of guys that we've been mentioning so far, like LaMelo and Jaylen Brown are obviously in the East. But yeah, as far as for the West, like Wiggins and Draymond, I don't think should be in there. I would give Booker or Luka the starting over Wiggins. And then I would throw in, my guy Ant. That's probably a little biased, but I think Ant is probably having a little slightly better season than Wiggins. I think LaMelo, though, going back to LaMelo, I think he got snubbed because he split votes with Miles Bridges, I imagine. Miles Bridges having an all-star season in his own right, averaging just under 20 at 19.7 points a game, 7 rebounds, 3.5 assists, shooting 49%, and averaging a steal and a block as well. So there's definitely a number of snubs out there. One interesting note, I did think Jarrett Allen should have got in over Darius Garland.
Really, that's an interesting.
You don't think so?
I mean, I just want to hear your backup on it. I'm not against it, but
I think he just anchors that team defensively. He means everything to that team in terms of defense and rebounding. He's, as far as I know, he's played almost every game. He is averaging 16, 11, and 2, shooting 67% from the field, averaging 1.5 blocks a game. Obviously, Darius Garland, he's having a terrific season. I don't have his stat line up, and I don't know it off the top of my head, but he is definitely deserving. I just do kind of think Jarrett Allen is a little more valuable to that team than him, which is why I think he should have made it over Darius Garland.
I think you got with the Cavs too. I think you got the leaning because you got 4 bigs, I guess, basically that have contributed, at least 3, Mobley and Love and Allen, and then you still got Lauri Markkanen too. So it's like I think that might take away from Jarrett Allen a little bit, given that they have so many big influences. Where, especially after Ricky Rubio went down, Darius Garland is pretty much like the guy that has the ball in his hands over half the time for the Cavs.
Well, and Sexton too. So Sexton, that was a huge loss beginning of the season. So yeah, that's definitely put the ball in Garland's hands a lot more. His scoring has gone up, his assists have gone up. So yeah, I do like him being in. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough debate, but I am fine with the way it stands right now. One other swap I did think should definitely have happened is Drew Holiday in for Chris Middleton. I think Drew is having, and this is nothing against Chris because Chris is definitely having an all-star season. He's a great player, extremely underrated in my opinion. He does not get the love he deserves. His stat line this year, Middleton, 19.4 points per game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 44%, 38% from three, 1.3 steals a game. But Drew Holiday, on the other hand, averaging
What was Middleton averaging points?
19. He's averaging 19, 6, and 5. Drew Holiday is averaging 18, 7, and 5, shooting higher percentage, 50% overall, 40% from three, and 1.5 steals. So a little less points, but more assists, same rebounds, higher field goal percentage, higher 3-point percentage, and more steals for Drew Holiday. He is definitely the defensive anchor on that team. Obviously, Giannis is Giannis. But in terms of guards, the backcourt, I would say defensively, it's definitely Drew Holiday. Chris Middleton, great defender in his own right, but Drew Holiday, I think, is having a slightly better year than Chris Middleton. So I would have put Drew Holiday in over Chris Middleton as the second Bucks player.
I think that's
that take.
I think that's a good take. I mean, Chris Middleton is a guy, or Chris Middleton. Drew Holiday is a guy I was looking at too. I thought that his impact on, that's the hard thing too, his impact on basketball. Are we talking about pure stat line here? Are we talking about impact on basketball? And I think that's where guys like Drew Holiday and Jared Allen really get a little bit of a disadvantage because I think their stat lines don't necessarily show their impact on basketball. So I don't watch a lot of the Bucks, so I guess I can't comment too hard on like Middleton versus Holiday, but I think the logic behind the take makes sense. Oh, one thing I did have to shout out though, Minnesota Pride here. We got or I guess Minnesota not Pride in the fact that we traded two of these guys, but we got Levine, Cat, and Wiggins all in the All-Star game this year. So that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool to see. Like you said, it's tough seeing that they're on other teams, but it is cool to see. Looking back on it, those guys are all young, good friends. Yeah, so that's good to see. I'm happy for those guys. I know they're gonna have a lot of fun playing in the All-Star game together. That's for sure.
What do you think? Wolves, you never should have traded Jack Levine. Just gotta say that.
Yeah, should have traded Wiggins, but at the time, I will admit, Wiggins. I don't think could have been moved. I don't think we would have jumped on that. Levine was just coming off a torn ACL. Yeah, we couldn't really predict how much he would grow. But yes, looking back on it, definitely should have traded Wiggins instead of Levine.
We just get to hate because of all the awful draft picks the worst basketball organization has made over the last 10 years. So
it's been pretty bad, I will admit.
All right, let's get it. What do we got?
All right, next we are going to draft. So I'm going to be Team LeBron. You are going to be Team Durant. That's only fair.
Just want to let the viewers know I petitioned for Team LeBron, and I think I should be allowed to draft for Team LeBron, but we got Fuhrer Fetty over here, so we're going to let him have his way.
Like I said at the beginning of the show, I am what some people call a bronzexual, so I think I deserve to draft for Team LeBron. So we are going to draft these players as the All-Star draft actually occurs. Based on those rules, I get to pick first because LeBron had the most All-Star votes. So I get to pick the first starter, and then Spinny will lead the reserves. So Spinny will pick the last starter and also go ahead.
I'm just going to give a quick preface here that we obviously know that like KD is not playing in the All-Star game. There's a couple other injury additions that will be made. We're just not taking those into account because we're just going based on the OG All-Star team.
Yep. So yeah, some of those stuff we were talking about could definitely very well end up making the All-Star game due to these injuries that some players have. Okay, with the very first pick, I will take Steph Curry.
Steph Curry, huh? All right, I'm gonna go with. This is tough. We're gonna go Giannis.
Giannis.
Giannis for me.
Trying to spell his name on the.
I know spelling's tough.
Especially his name.
Facts.
Okay, my third starter will be. Let's go Jokic. I gotta have my boy on the team. Absolutely carries my dynasty basketball team, so gotta get him on the squad. Nikola Jokic.
All right. Well, we're going big then. We're going Joel Embiid.
Good pick.
Me.
Good pick. My next pick will be. What do I got? I got LeBron, Curry, and Jokic. Let's get
Don't do it.
You got all the bigs. Dang it. Let's go with my boy DeMar. I need DeMar on my team. DeMar DeRozan, my second favorite NBA player, on the squad.
All right. I'm glad. I'm glad because I didn't want that man anyway. So we're going Ja Morant.
Doesn't want that guy. You're gonna find out the hard way when everyone votes for my team.
Take Wiggins.
Well, with the last starter, I'm obviously gonna take Trae Young. You are stuck with Wiggins.
All right. I guess I'll be stuck with Andrew Wiggins. That's tough for
Andrew
me.
Wiggins. And you also get to pick the first reserve.
First reserve. This is pretty easy. I think it's by far the best player left. So we're gonna go with Luka.
Luka Doncic. Good pick.
What do we got, Bus? Bus wants Rudy Gobert. I know that for sure.
Yeah, one thing you guys need to know about me is I'm probably the biggest Rudy Gobert hater there is. I'm not a fan of him. He is obviously good, but just not a fan. He's extremely overrated in my opinion. Yeah, let me get Devin Booker.
I think that's a good pick. Good pick. Gotta get those Kentucky boys, I suppose. All right, let's go James Harden for me.
I will take Cat.
Of course, you're gonna take Cat.
Yeah, I gotta get all my boys on the team.
Yeah. Well, I suppose since you're, I think this is tough. I can't decide if I should wait one more round or not. Trying to read Bus's draft strategy here. I think we're gonna risk it one more round. We're gonna go with Donovan Mitchell.
Good pick. I did think about taking him there, but I needed another big really bad. I will take with the next pick. Jason Tatum. Is that what you wanted?
That's a move when your draft strategy doesn't pay off, folks. Right there, you wait one round too long.
I can't
Jason
believe
Tatum's my guy, favorite player in the NBA. So
favorite player in the NBA, and you had 3 picks to pick them for the reserves, and you didn't. That's tough.
That's true. That's true. Just trying to build the squad, you know.
I feel that. I feel it.
So we're gonna go. We need a little more size. So we're gonna take Jimmy. Want Jimmy in the squad.
Jimmy Butler on the team. I'm gonna take Zach LaVine.
Zach LaVine. See, you should have taken Wiggins. You could have had the Minnesota's reunion squad. Come on.
I could have, I guess, but
Stuff for you. All right. So who do we got left? We got Rudy, Darius, Draymond, Middleton, Paul, and Van Vliet.
Yep.
All right. We're gonna go Darius Garland. That guy, first time All-Star, Darius Garland.
First time All-Star. Congratulations, Darius. Well deserving. You know what? I was just saying how much I hate him, but I'm taking Rudy.
Gosh, stop doing that to me. I wanted him too next round. Come on.
Last big on the board. I had to take him.
All right. So we're just going. Man, this is a guy that I really don't like, and I think gets more credit than he deserves. But I think he's the best player left, so we're gonna go with Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton.
Just had to emphasize the mid, huh?
Avi.
Okay. Keeper getting his left.
I think we just got Paul, Van Vliet,
yeah,
and Draymond.
Chris Paul, no doubt.
Chris Paul, yeah, point guard.
Because LeBron would obviously take Chris Paul.
Well, yeah.
Huge friends, best friends. So.
And I'm just gonna go with not having Draymond Green, so we're gonna go with Fred Van Vliet.
Just had to do that to me, huh?
Oh yeah.
Is that the last one?
I think so. I think we got them all.
I get Draymond. I am upset you took Giannis. I was hoping you would. In my head, I was thinking you were going to take Jokic or Embiid there, and so I could get Giannis and Curry. That was my plan. But
come on.
I figured if I took Giannis, would you have taken Curry?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes me feel better then.
Yep. You weren't only getting one of those two guys. Come on now.
Okay, I got them written down. Jump back to our screen here. So
there we are.
There's our teams. Go ahead and drop a comment below on who do you think has the better team? Who do you think, if these teams went head-to-head, who do you think would win?
Guess I'm starting Wiggins at the 2, so we'll be okay with that.
Yeah, your team is big. You definitely got your starting lineup is definitely big.
Yeah, man, you gotta have DeMar. You got DeMar guarding KD. Ooh.
You don't have any bigs on the bench though. Not one.
True.
I got 2 centers and a power forward on my bench to go along. I don't know. I think it works out. You're big in the starters, guard heavy in the backups, and I'm the opposite. Guard heavy, and then big backup.
That's fair.
Yeah, my team would definitely beat yours, though. I'm pretty confident.
What?
We're talking.
I got the best player in the world on my team. Get out of my life.
I got LeBron on my team. The GOAT. I got the best shooter ever, Steph Curry. I got the reigning MVP. I got DeMar DeRozan, my boy, who would absolutely go off in the All-Star game. Trae Young, he's going to get buckets. And then my bench is definitely better than
I'm the best player in the world, and that's Kevin Durant. Best player in the world right now. Boom, bang, boom on my squad.
Do remember, though, he is hurt and not going to be playing in the All-Star game.
True. But we're just talking fantasy here, so I can say whatever I want. Also, Giannis, I guess his resume speaks for itself. He just won the ship and back-to-back MVPs before that, so that's tough.
Yeah, I did really want Giannis because he is a All-Star game guy. He tries so hard in the game.
Black City.
He definitely is he definitely tries way more than any other player on the court. There's no doubt about it. He wants to put up 30 plus points in the All-Star game. Like, he wants to go off. He wants it. He wants the MVP.
He wants to get that newly installed Kobe Bryant MVP trophy.
Right.
Yep.
I agree. I still just can't believe you let me have Jason Tatum like that.
I know. It was
That's
I messed
crazy
up on that one. I really did.
I got like all my favorite players on here. I got Jokic, I got Bron, I got DeMar, I got D Book and Cat and Tatum. Wow. And Levine. Wow.
But we got Luka, Harden, and Mitchell against Booker, Cat, and Tatum. First three off the bench. Come on, now. You know I got that dub right there on that. So
no.
What? Come on.
We'll let the viewers decide.
We'll let the viewers decide that my team is better. You're right.
Drop a comment below. We'll see what happens.
All right. For bus.
Let's jump to the next topic.
So that was W. I just got to say that was W number one for me on this podcast. One of many that's about to come. So 1-0 already. We're about to add to that here. So let's get it.
Whatever. Okay, as you all probably know by now, Brian Flores has filed a class action lawsuit against the NFL and 3 of its teams, the Dolphins, Giants, and Broncos, alleging systemic racism throughout the NFL through sham interviews, incentivizing losses, and pressure to improperly recruit players. Spinny, what's your initial reaction to this?
Well, I guess I got to preface this with, obviously, we're both white. So, like, we can't exactly, we won't be able to really understand, like, systemic racism and how it affects people of color. So, I mean, our opinions are what they are, but again, take them with a grain of salt, as we obviously have not experienced this personally. So, after saying that, it is the biggest load of crap ever. The stuff this guy had to endure in Miami, and how they painted him as the one that was tough to work with. Well, right. I mean, I'd be pretty tough to work with too if you're offered to pay me money to lose games. Like, here, take some money to give your integrity up. It's like, well, no crap, you'd be tough to work with at that point. That's number one. If that's true about Stephen Ross, he should not be allowed to be an owner. That's BS, honestly. So, first, that's BS. Secondly, the Giants interview is crazy. I got to give a shout out unintentionally to my man Bill Belichick for laying that out there, texting the wrong Brian. Nice boomer actions from Bill Belichick there. But yeah, I mean, if we're having interviews with guys after it's already at least what it seems like to be widely accepted that somebody else is getting the job or interviewing somebody just to interview them, that's BS too. And that leads into the third point I had to make, which is the Rooney Rule, which I can't dog it completely because I know the NFL does try to add diversity, especially on this level, and it was, at least I assume without being in the room, that it was put in place with good reasoning behind it. But it obviously doesn't work. I mean, when you have a league that's 70% people of color and we only have one head coach that's not white, I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, there's 3.
Wow, yes. Before this hiring cycle, there was 1. But yes,
there is. Ron Rivera, Washington Commanders coach. Robert Saleh, or however you say his last name, Jets coach. And then obviously Mike Tomlin.
Yep. I didn't know Ron Rivera. That's interesting.
Yep, Ron Rivera. Well, I should say this is just minority coaches. There's 3 minority coaches.
Yes.
So the Rooney Rule, if you aren't aware, requires teams to interview 2 minority coaches for their head opening positions. Does that apply to front office too, or just head coach? I'm not sure about that.
I don't know on that one.
Surprising, but
yeah. But anyways, and again, I hate to dog on a something that was put into place with good reasoning and not have a better idea. Like I don't have a better idea, I guess, as to like how to replace the Rooney Rule, but obviously it's not doing the job that we needed to do with a league that. And here's another point that I think of. If you look at NFL head coaches, over 90% of them were either college or NFL players. And so when you have that type of numbers, and we're talking that 70% of those people were non-white, but only like whatever, less than 10% are of coaches are non-whites, that to me stands out as something that's obviously based on systematic racism, because everyone always makes the argument, well, you just hired the better coach. It's like, okay, but you're telling me that if you just hired the better coach in a league where 90% of the coaches played college or NFL, you're just hiring the best person and we still end up with less than 10% people of color. That those numbers just don't add up. That just doesn't make sense. So I guess something definitely needs to be changed when it comes to that. So what do you?
Yeah, I don't really know what is the right way to go about this. It's definitely a tough issue. I definitely think the Rooney Rule is not helping whatsoever. It's backed up by the fact that, as we said, only 3 current coaches are minorities. And the Rooney Rule just leads to things like sham interviews, like Brian Flores has been saying. Teams are just interviewing these minorities just because they have to, and not actually giving them a serious consideration. So the fact that he alleged that John Elway and I don't know who their GM is, but they were drinking heavy the night before, came an hour late, and were completely unprepared for the meeting. Like, again, these are just allegations for right now, but that just is just completely unacceptable to me. I don't, even if you already talked to Vic Fangio, who they ended up hiring, and you really liked him and you were thinking like he's probably the guy, you still have to give Brian Flores or any other coach the complete same consideration, complete effort and time put into the meetings, everything like that. I just don't think that happened. As you already said earlier too, the Bill Belichick situation where he accidentally texted Brian Flores instead of Brian Dabble. That had happened, like 2 or 3 days before Flores' interview. So they had already filled the job before he even had his interview. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going on like that. I don't think Brian Flores is by any means the only minority candidate that has experienced these type of things. So I hope if there are more that they come out and kind of back him up with it, and hopefully we can get this stuff out of the NFL and find a better way to move forward.
Yeah, I guess 2 things that came to my head from what you said. One is that, well, the example of Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackson talked about when he was the Browns coach that he had a similar situation where he was offered money to lose games. So it definitely, at least allegedly, happened other times. And the second thing is that I just tend to believe Brian Flores, given everything he's risking and that the integrity he allegedly showed in Miami. Like, if your billionaire boss is like, hey, I'm going to pay you to lose games so we can get a better draft pick, like, it takes a pretty, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but it takes a man of integrity to be able to stand up to that and be like, nah, man, like, I can't do that. And then to be fired for it on top of that, and then to go and sue the NFL, a company you're basically trying to work for, it takes a lot of balls and it takes a lot of integrity. So I tend to believe these allegations that Flores says just based on his track record. Like, if a guy's got a good, honest track record, I'm giving him more of the benefit of the doubt, and that's where I'm at with Flores, I guess, right now.
No, I completely agree with that.
On top of the evidence that's obviously there too.
Right, so. Right. He's produced some pretty good evidence, in my opinion. The text messages, again, could be I know there's debate like if they were staged or whatever, but I don't think Bill Belichick would do that. I can definitely see Bill just being that old guy that just accidentally texted the wrong Brian.
Literally.
He definitely seems like that kind of guy. He's just like so football focused. I just have this view of Bill Belichick not knowing anything outside of football.
Yeah.
I'm sure is not even remotely true, but
You just have that idea that like just Bill's just in the lab 16 hours a day, just like grinding. Like that's just
grinding. Yeah. Watching film, like getting practice notes ready, like
always.
You have anything else to comment about this? Otherwise, we'll jump to our next topic.
No, I guess I just want to make it clear that the NFL is. I don't see a way where the NFL is not wrong in this situation, and Brian Flores. I just got to make that point that I guess that if we're jumping to conclusions too much on Brian Flores' side, I'll take my losses on that because I don't see any way that he is wrong in this with all the facts that are out right now.
Yep, I would agree. So hopefully we can see this get resolved, and hopefully the NFL pushes to new rules and regulations to help minority candidates get jobs that they're definitely deserving for. So,
as should be done countrywide in the United States, and I think that's another thing is the NFL is a good at least place to start to make changes because obviously changes need to be made on a much bigger scale. Also,
right. This is more of a societal issue. It's just playing through the lens of the NFL because NFL is obviously on a global scale. So,
correct.
All right, next topic. I know this one's gonna hurt you a little bit, Spinny. Next topic is Tom Brady retires from the NFL.
Get that worthless picture off my screen right now. Like I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that baloney. That's over on that right side of that screen. Get out of here with that.
It's true though.
Sheesh.
That's one thing I have not mentioned in this episode is that I am also, while Spinny is probably the biggest Tom Brady fan that I've ever met, I am probably the biggest Tom Brady hater that anyone has ever met. So I had to throw this picture in there. It's pretty accurate in my opinion. What do you think, Spinny?
Yeah, extra accurate. Real super duper accurate. Yep. Totally.
Well, come on. Spygate, Tuck rule. You can't even deny some of these.
Yeah, but you act like those were even his fault. Come on now.
These two right here, Malcolm Butler and Falcons choked, like those should have never been his rings.
Yeah, nice. You forget about Brady's fourth quarter against the Seahawks coming back, all those ridiculous amount of plays that he made coming back. And then Curse gets one lucky catch. And I thought that one was over too, but bless Pete Carroll on that one, deciding probably the worst play call I think I've ever seen, especially in a Super Bowl for sure. You got the best running back in the league that season at least, and you got the ball on the 1 yard line. I'd be running it 4 times in a row, and if they stop me, then good for them.
Like that season, Marshawn Lynch was giving me like current Derrick Henry vibes. Just an automatic touchdown. If you're within 5 yards, you hand it to this man, he's scoring.
I don't know.
He's big, he's strong, he's fast. Yeah, from 1 yard away, 1.5 yards away, whatever it was, and you're throwing the ball. I also give some of the blame to Russell Wilson. I think as an elite quarterback, you have the ability to change the call on the field. As we know, Aaron Rodgers does that a lot. But yeah, if you're the star quarterback, you see your coaches trying to throw the ball when it's wasn't it second down or first down?
Second or third down, yeah.
And you're not going to give it to the best running back in the league. You got to call an audible or something and just do that. I don't know. But also credit to Malcolm Butler. I will admit, they did some sports science on that pick. His reaction time was absolutely insane. So it could have probably easily been a touchdown, but Malcolm Butler made a crazy play, jumped the route, picked it off, as you all know. That ended the Seahawks season. You got Tom Brady another ring. I do think the best part about this picture is the 3 quarterbacks he lost to, Foles and two, I should say, Foles and Manning twice. Nick Foles, we're talking about, beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
What do you want? Don't even talk to me about that. What do you want Brady to do? You want him to throw more than 500 yards? Or what? 500 yards wasn't enough for you? Or what? What do you want him to do? 500 yards wasn't good enough?
Okay, then I need the same energy for other sports, aka LeBron, when he loses and goes off. I need the same energy because LeBron's out here getting triple doubles in finals and losing. People still are trying to blame it on him. I don't see the difference.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I've never been that guy though, so you can't.
No, I know, but you know where I'm coming from with that.
I do. And I want to also Falcons choked. Nice. Okay, we're just downplaying Brady's role in that game too. Sweet.
That's fair. I do think he did obviously make plays, crazy comeback, but I feel like that's just more on God, who was there? Wasn't it Shanahan at the time?
Yeah, the Falcons OC, yeah. Shanahan.
Yeah. How the play calling he had in the fourth quarter of that game was just absolutely ridiculous to me.
Especially go ahead.
They're throwing contested balls like instead of running it and trying to like waste time, and they're going 3 and out in 1 minute. Like you got to run some clock off, especially in the fourth quarter when you're playing the best player of all time. Like,
and then we're talking over halfway through the fourth quarter, Julio makes one of the most insane catches I've ever seen, and I thought that was it. All you have to do is run the ball and kick a field goal right there, and the game's essentially over.
Yep.
But instead, we decided to throw it. Dante Hightower, stud, strip sack, and then we're all the rest is history.
Yeah,
but this man is the greatest, not just football player, but athlete, 4 major sports athlete ever. So there can be debate on that one. That's a hot take. It's a bold take. I understand that, but when you have more championships in your sport than any other franchise in that sport, then I think I can. No, I think I'm allowed to make that claim, especially modern era of that sport.
And I'll admit, like I said, huge Tom Brady hater, but no, I can actually agree with that statement. He is the GOAT of GOATs, in my opinion. Just based off that one stat you said, his 7 Super Bowls are more than any franchise in the NFL. He has more Super Bowls than any franchise by himself. That's just absolutely insane to think about. Some other crazy stats.
Yeah, I want to hear your stat list here.
I'm going to throw some at you here. There's a lot. As we all know, Tom Brady has some crazy stats. He has played in 18% and won 13% of all the Super Bowls. 18%. Almost 20% of the Super Bowls ever he's played in. He has, as we said, more Super Bowls than all franchises. He has 0 losing seasons as a starter. 0. He played 22 years. He wasn't a starter for all 22. He did not play. He tore his ACL 1 year. Did not start his rookie year.
So he got 20 starting seasons, but still, yes. 20 winning seasons.
Winning seasons. The least amount of wins he ever had in a season was 9 as a starter. He is 35-12 in the playoffs. Second all time in wins, has 17. So he has over double the amount of wins. Second in playoff wins is Joe Montana. This right here is absolutely insane. After age 37, he went 17-4 in the playoffs. So just as many wins as second all time after age 37. And he has 4 Super Bowl wins. over half of his Super Bowls came after the age of 37. That is just absolutely ridiculous to me.
Brady 37 to 44 had a better playoff career than any quarterback's ever had.
Yes.
Just 37 to 44.
Yes. 37 to 44. He had probably still the GOAT career just in those seasons, which is absolutely mind-blowing to think about. He has over 3,000 total passing yards in Super Bowl, which is a ridiculous amount. He has 243 wins. And get this, the Lions only have 241 since 1983. So Tom Brady's been in the NFL since when? 2000 or what was his first year?
Yeah, 99 was the draft.
Yeah. And since 1983, the Lions have less wins. So they got like a 17-year head start.
And still have less wins.
Still have less wins. And then the final stat that I want to say, this season, age 44, last season, he led the NFL in yards, touchdowns, pass attempts, and yards per game at age 44, which I think, again, it's just an absolutely insane stat to think about.
Man could play at least 2 more seasons.
Yeah, I agree. I was a little surprised that he retired, but I do understand. I do see it. That's a lot of years to play.
And you got to respect. I mean, I think the family thing is obviously the biggest part of it. You know, when your kids are getting to the teenage years of like that's when you want to be around and not have to like grind 12 hours a day on the NFL and especially the way Brady does the NFL. It's, you know, he's either going to grind it or he's not going to do it. So like,
right. There's no point unless you're all in. So
yeah.
No, I agree. How about some more reactions about this retirement? I know this had to sadden you.
Yeah, I mean,
crying, huh? Did you shed a tear?
There was some tears shed. There was at least a couple tears shed for sure. I mean, it's just the NFL. The NFL is my favorite sport, and I'll still love it, and it'll still be amazing. It'll just never be quite as good as it was because Brady's my favorite athlete, and I don't think that your childhood favorite athlete. I don't think you ever get another athlete you care more about. So I guess that's a big sadness for me too, and just not watching Brady playoff games. I mean, I've watched Brady playoff games literally my entire life. Like Brady came into the NFL when I was 3 years old. Like I literally my first game I ever really truly remember watching was the Rams Super Bowl. It was Brady against the Rams.
Yeah,
Greatest show on turf. Super
I do
Bowl.
remember that. It's different to think about our perspectives on this because you say that now the NFL will be different, maybe not as entertaining for you anymore, given that your favorite athlete of all time, not just NFL player, but athlete of all time is retired. I definitely feel the same way about the NBA and LeBron. Once LeBron retires, there's obviously a ton of other players I like, but it's just not going to be quite the same. So I get where you come from there. But for me, Tom Brady, having absolutely hated him these last 22 years, well, not all 22, because I'm only 24, so I wasn't really paying attention to the beginning of the season or beginning of his career. But to now be able to watch the NFL and know that I don't have to watch Tom Brady go to the Super Bowl every year and things like that, it's making it pretty. I'm feeling good about the NFL now. I think I'm going to like it a lot more, even though I already love it. I don't know. We'll see. It is tough to lose some legends like that. I know Peyton Manning was a huge guy of mine, so when he retired, that was tough for me. Big Ben, I know he's not like one of my favorites, and he's not by any means like probably not even top 5 quarterback of all time, but he obviously is a Hall of Famer. Yeah, so it's always tough when Hall of Famers and guys like that leave the league, I think.
And I feel like it was kind of the end of an era, you know?
Right. It's the end of an era for sure, no doubt. I mean, Tom Brady ruled the NFL for 20 years. Absolutely insane run. I give him credit. That's one thing I do definitely need to say. I absolutely hate Tom Brady, but he's the GOAT. I'm going to give him his credit. He's the GOAT. There's no debate, obviously, at this point. 7 Super Bowls. That's all we can say. He had the craziest career in any major sport for any player. And yeah, he went out on top. He is the best player of all time.
And don't worry, I'll have those NFL films, the Brady versus Manning playoff wins for Brady. Anytime you want to see them, we can rewatch
That's
them.
where my hatred.
We can rewatch them. We can rewatch Indy losing to New England in the playoffs over and over anytime.
Please stop. Please stop. That's where my hatred comes from. Being a Peyton Manning fan, having to watch my guy lose all the time to Tom Brady. So annoying. I'm just glad that when all that was happening, I didn't know Spinny because I would have heard it an insane
every day.
You have any closing comments about Tom Brady? Otherwise, we'll jump to our last topic.
No, just go.
He is the GOAT. There's no debate. All right, our last topic. We are gonna talk Super Bowl a little bit. Talk some predictions. What we think. What do you think, Spinny?
Oh, that's so hard. Knee-jerk reaction says Rams, right? But Joe Burrow's been doing something this playoffs that is, I don't know, man. I can't discredit him too much.
He is
just beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, so it just scares me. The Bengals' offensive line is hot garbage, and we're talking Aaron Donald and Von Miller and
right.
Yeah, the rest they have pass rushers everywhere. Leonard Floyd, right? They got Leonard Floyd's their other.
I think they do. I'm pretty sure they do.
Yeah. So wow, nice.
Oh yeah.
There's no pass rushers, and then you got Jalen Ramsey and Jamar Chase. So that obviously helps too, theoretically. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I got live odds up here.
Yeah. What are the odds at now?
We got Rams -4 still, and then
-4.
Yep, and then money line is Rams -185 or Bengals +160. So yeah.
I think. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like. I don't think it's gonna be less than 4 points. To be honest, I think we're looking at a touchdown spread here. In my opinion, I do have the Rams winning this game, but it's gonna be a tough game for sure. I think you did make a good point about Ramsey on Jamar Chase, but they obviously still got T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. So I don't know how well the Rams can match up 2 and 3 wise onto those guys. But yeah, what do you think about the score? What do you think the score is gonna be?
I'm gonna take Rams 27-21.
27-21. I do like that.
It might be a little high scoring, but I think I'm confident with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go actually a little higher scoring than you. I'm gonna go 30-24 final score. Rams winning. I will say though, you said the Bengals are at +160.
Yep.
If I'm throwing money on the game, I probably would take that money line. I do like that odds. I'm not really a fan of the spread though. I don't. It could obviously be less because both championship games were 3-point spreads, so you can definitely see that happening. But I just personally think it's going to be a little more, maybe that 6 to 7 point spread. I just think, like you said, the Rams are just too deep. They got too many weapons on offense and defense. Joe Burrow will be back. He will be back. I just think this is the Rams' year to finally get it done. Matt Stafford's just going to get his first ring. And yeah, Joe Burrow is definitely going to be back. Definitely going to be back. He is an insanely clutch player. And for him to do this in his second season, fresh off an ACL tear, just absolutely insane. He 100% better win comeback player of the year this year. He's had an absolutely insane season. Amazing playoff run, as obviously since they're in the Super Bowl. Given that city some hope, Cincinnati, I would say they've been a poverty franchise for many, many years. They have made it to 2 Super Bowls, so this is their 3rd Super Bowl, but they have 0 wins. That's not saying a ton. Obviously, us Vikings don't have any Super Bowls either, but still, Cincinnati is usually a losing team. Don't even make it to 500. Last year, they have the worst record in the NFL last year, or
Yeah,
like
2 and
second or
14.
third.
2 and 14.
Yeah. 2-14 last year, and now they're in the Super Bowl
Yep.
with a quarterback who just tore his ACL. So all those things point to this team being the real deal going forward. Jamar Chase locked up long term. They got T. Higgins. I think if they just build around T. Higgins, Jamar, and Burrow, they will be successful for a long, long time.
Yeah, and I mean, you become a great quarterback in the NFL based on playoff production. I mean that's how you make your brand. And for Burrow to do this so early with a team that everyone thought was at least 2 years out from being ready for this is pretty impressive. And to beat the Chiefs, to do it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean you gotta give him credit. I mean that roster, if they want to be a consistent contender, they need tune-ups on that roster at D tackle and corner and offensive line. But yeah, I think the most important position in football is your quarterback. So I think once you got that guy, you'll always have a shot. I mean, we can look at the Packers defenses for Rodgers last 10 years, awful, but playoffs. And like Peyton Manning, another example, 32nd ranked defenses consistently in Indy and always made the playoffs. So if you got a guy that's good, you got a real shot.
Yep. And yeah, I mean, they could definitely make 2 more Super Bowls going forward. It is just absolutely crazy to me, the amount of talent that is in the AFC at the quarterback position, especially young talent. We got Joe Burrow, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. I think the AFC is really stacked, and I definitely think quarterback-wise going forward, the AFC has the best quarterbacks.
Agreed.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, the NFC quarterbacks are older, I guess, right? I mean, most of them, like you got Stafford and Rodgers, and this year was Brady. So it's like we got all the top quarterbacks, it seems, in the NFC are older guys. Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson. Kirk obviously just had a great season, made the Pro Bowl. He is 33 years old. So yeah, although the only young quarterback comes to mind would be Kyler Murray, right?
Yeah, that's the only one I was thinking of. And then you got there's some other, younger, unproven guys. I think Justin Fields is going to be a very good quarterback in the NFL. In Chicago there, you got out in the NFC East, we got Dak. Dak's pretty young, but I think there's a ceiling there on that one. And I mean, NFC South quarterbacks are really rough right now. So
that might be the worst division next year. Not gonna lie.
I think it could be too. I mean,
it really might be.
I mean, the Bucs are still going to grind because their defense is good and they still have weapons, but where's New Orleans going to be without Sean Payton, and they're over the cap by $1 billion and all that going on? Carolina's talking about trading their best player. So
right, they're kind of looking at rebuilding.
And Atlanta's been half rebuild for 3 years anyway, basically.
Since
it seems
the Super Bowl loss.
Since the Super Bowl loss. So
yeah. I guess, do you have any more comments on Super Bowl? I would say the one other comment I had is just the fact that I can now watch the game in peace and not have to worry about Tom Brady winning the Super Bowl. I can actually watch the game and not care about who wins. This is honestly the first time, I'm trying to think, maybe even ever, that I have genuinely not cared who's going to win the Super Bowl. I like both teams. I want Matt Stafford to get his first ring. I really like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, so I'm good with them winning. And obviously Cincinnati, city of Cincinnati, they could use something like that. They deserve it. So yeah, I'm good with either winning, but I do have Rams 30-24 over the Bengals in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I guess I'm with you. I mean, I'm just hoping for a good game here. You know, where I place my bets might lean a little bit to what I'm cheering for, obviously. But a good game is all I'm really looking for this Super Bowl. So that'll be fun. And I got Rams 27-21. I guess I wanted to mention one more betting thing. The over under is 48.5. So that's where
48.
I sold it. Yeah, 48.5. So that's where I sold my 27-21. I'm going with the under.
I'm going over with that. I'll hit the over on total points. Obviously based on my score, that's over. So I'll hit the over on that. I still might take Bengals money line. I don't know.
I think Bengals money line, if you think they have a chance to win, which I think most people do, I think Bengals money line at plus 160 is a pretty value take.
Yeah, I'll probably honestly I'll probably likely just do a lot of prop bets, player bets, yards, touchdowns, things like that. That's probably the main thing I'll do for the Super Bowl, because I genuinely honestly don't know who's going to win. I want to say the Rams, obviously, because of the things we mentioned, pass rush, just too talented everywhere. But I mean, Bengals out, they're making a run. I mean, they beat the Chiefs.
It'd be cool to see a quarterback that we've watched a lot, and I've always at least liked win a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Matt Stafford has grinded his butt out with definitely a bottom 3 franchise in the NFL.
Yeah,
for many years, and I've seen him get demolished by the Vikes a lot of times. So I think it was cool to see him get a shot and take advantage of it. You know, everyone was talking crap to him about playoff record and not being able to do anything, and then he comes in the playoffs and just rocks it. I mean, basically, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, beat the who's their first game was Arizona. I mean, that was kind of looking bad, but they pulled that one off even without him. And then the Tampa game, I mean, he literally beat the GOAT. We talked about that, even though he tried to get the game away at the end. And then the San Francisco game is the one where he really stepped up and played well at the end and kind of brought them to that win. So, So good for Matt Stafford.
Yeah, good for him. I hope he gets his ring. Definitely very deserving of it. Yeah, I'm a huge Matt Stafford guy. I've always thought he was a top quarterback in the league. Gets a Super Bowl win, and that it would definitely back up that claim for sure. No doubt about it. Well,
right.
that was our last topic. So we will wrap up our first episode here. We just want to mention a couple things here. You know, comment below. Also, I forgot to mention Super Bowl. Let's hear your takes as well. So comment below score and who you think is going to win, along with who you thought had the better all-star team for the NBA. Also, give us a like, comments, subscribe on YouTube. We're going to be posting on YouTube to start. Once I figure out, still working on figuring out getting it uploaded to other platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, things like that. But for now, we are going to be uploading these videos to YouTube and starting from there. Eventually, we'll upload the audio files to Spotify, things like that. Also, just be on the lookout for our hard-headed social media pages. We are currently in the works of getting graphics and logos created. So once we get that finished and done, we will create social media pages and we will post everything on there. But to start, posting everything on YouTube, and we will be posting our YouTube links on our individual social media pages. So go ahead and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything like that. Jack Bustler, like I said, Dylan Crush. We will post our links on our own pages for now, and then on hard-headed social media pages once we get those created. Do you have any closing comments, Spinny?
Yeah, I guess I want to give a big thanks for listening to everybody that's gonna tune into this podcast, and also give us some criticism. If you think there's a way we could do things better, if you got any topics that you think would be cool for us to talk about. I know obviously at the beginning here we'll see the level of audience that we reach, but hopefully in the future we'd like to get some dialogue going back and forth with y'all listeners, because I think the greatest podcasts and anything comes from collaboration. So please let us know what you think, and thank you for listening. And
comments. My one last comment is we do plan on having guest stars. I don't know if we haven't really dove into that topic yet, so we're probably going to have a guest almost every episode, at least for part of the episode. But yeah, so if you're interested in that, drop comments that you're interested in being in a podcast. Maybe we can get you in. Drop, like Spinny said, drop comments about ways we can do things better, things you would like to see, things you would like to hear about, everything like that. We're open for all considerations and suggestions.
And especially if you have a specific area of expertise, we got betting guys. We'd love to have some more. I don't know if either of us are really super into that scene, so we'd like to get maybe some more experts on that, fantasy football, and any of those type of more niche areas. Come on and give us your more experienced thoughts than ours. So yeah, this was the Hard Headed Podcast. I'm Spinny, and that's Fetty, and we hope you have a wonderful day.
That is all for episode 1. Thanks for listening.